So, hi everybody and welcome back. This is an Unreal Engine 5 tutorial series for absolute beginners. This is video 48, and in this video we will create together an effect, actually the smoke effect. Normally I wanted to go on, but I decided to create one together because effects are later in gaming very important, and the reason for that is because effects will bring your game to another level, because you can create a so-called wow effect if you make it right. So this is very important, and I decided let's create together one of these tutorials. And what we are going to use is this first one, the the sprite sheet here. And what I'm doing is just going through. I already created this one, and I show you actually again the Niagara system, and I called it all time wrong. It is not called Niagara like I did it till now. It is called Niagara. That is also cleared, and all these other examples here add a little bit more different informations to that what they started. So it's interesting to do them all, but I will show you that actually it is very fast and simple. You need only a little bit time, 1-2 hours, and then you can make all them almost together. And let's get started. So we are creating this FX. First of all, I created a folder which I called, in my case, FX for special FX and Niagara. And why I did this, because you can name it what you want, of course, but important is to think there are different kind of effects. There are sound effects, there are visual effects, what we are going to do, and there are visual effects from different systems. I told you that there is this Cascade system, and here it's the Niagara system. And one big note, very big note, I forget this too. This could be very important. There is a converting system from Cascade to Niagara. If this is working, I'm not sure. You have to read the documentation, but here the starter content in which I am in particles, this effects here, what you have here are also Cascade. If, for example, if you want to use this smoke or this fire effect, let's open this fire up, then you see this is the old Cascade system. But interesting is you can convert this to Niagara. What you have to do is go here to the plugins, then write again Niagara, not Niagara, Niagara, and on top it says Cascade to Niagara converter. You have to read the documentation if this works and if not. But if you use this one, then there is a way to convert all the old systems what you have to Niagara, and which means most time you won't just manipulate them later, so you don't have to learn Cascade to the system to manipulate them. That's very nice. So, but let's get into our smoke. This is already the end result, what you see here, that you will have not at start. I only show the steps now how to get there, but I have already one, so I will not start from start. So first of all, we go to this document. It is Unreal Engine 5 documentation in Niagara tutorials in Sprite Smoke, and then we start from here. It says at the top that we need a starter content sprite material, and if you are here in the starter content, you go the easiest way to get this material is actually write this one here directly in the search field. That's easier, right? Just here m_smoke, and you see it pops up already. And this one you can then copy to your folder. I already did this, so I jump back to my folder. I delete the search bar, and here I made some subfolders. Here I created in my FX Niagara, that you don't have to make what you like, how you like it. But in my case, I made here a created Niagara folder because it can be, this folder means I created them myself, but there could be that I get it from other places, downloaded, or anyone created them, and they are not the same like mine. So I have a created folder, and in my created folder, I'm now going for the Sprite smoke here. This is our special. You see, we have here many other effects. So I create for Sprite smoke again a folder, and in this folder I will create all the assets which we need. Here I created a material, you put in your material. So here I have this material in it. First step done, we jump in. I read not all, I just go over a little bit fast, and this reading part you can do and understand why we need this. So we have the materials, we created the folder, then we created the system emitter. Now we are creating a system. We talked about this a little bit in the last video. There are two ways to create Niagara things. One is emitter, one is system. In this case, we want to create this Niagara system. Right click FX Niagara system, but the system is already one of these basic assets. You can create it here on top too. And the difference about this one, let me say this again, the Niagara system and the emitter is, this is just the, FX here, this is just the emitter, which means I just create the emitter, and in the system which we are going to create, we can add more emitter to the system. So you create the system like it says here, and then you choose here new system from selected emitters, which means you should choose one of these templates here. Let's do this. Let me show this one too. Okay, I make this one and delete this, but you should make it so we go here, new system from selected emitter. We click next. We choose one of this template emitters, which means already created one, and we learn how to manipulate this emitter in this thing. Okay, I select this one, and then I have to add this with a plus. Now I added this emitter to the system. Of course, I could add more if I want, but in this case, that's it. Then you name the system what you think it's best for you. I called it the Sprite Smoke here, and S for Niagara system, and FX for special effect, and so. And then let's see what they say here. And that's it for that. And then they are opening this up and rename it. So then what they do, let me go here, I'd open it up, and if you click then your system emitter here, oh, not this one. Yes, this one. You can click on this and on top and rename it. After you renamed that, you have this two things here actually. It looks not similar now to mine because I already created here some other things, but this one, we are doing nothing with this one. That's the good part. This is just indicating this is a system, and here are default values. If you change, of course, later the system, that's good. And I showed you here also how to add more emitters if you want. For example, you can just right click here in this place, go to add emitter, and you find all the template emitters here again. And here some behaviors. And interesting is there was also this fluid simulation, but not here. That was there we had to click this other thing. Don't forget, if you have activated this fluid simulation system, let me show you this one too. This is really cool. You go here again to Niagara system, but this time you would select this one for this fluid, and then you see you have other templates here. They are much more intensive, but they look much better as well. For this one, you should have a better PC, just in case for that. Let's continue. So we are here, we created this one, change render settings. So they start with those render options, and let's go into it. This is our emitter, and we are working just with this emitter, and you see the emitter. You have to think it starts from top to bottom, and you are working it from top to bottom, and then you are finished. So you start from top, and it says here on top we have property settings. We are not using this one right now. But then we have the emitter symmetry. We are not using this one too, so let's go back. And then it says emitter spawns. Is that one? No, they are jumping down to renderer. So they start with the renderer. Render means the visual thing what we want render here on our preview on the left side. So here, and when I click this a little bit away, you can see what we have here already included and so on. They are all open here. That's why they look so much. But important is, well, what we do now. And actually, you see this is just one renderer, actually just one thing. And all other things are settings which you can do. And we jump in. So they say here, we go jump in and we change here this sprite renderer. The sprite renderer, we talked a little bit about it. The sprite renderer means we are not using the mesh renderer. I said one time you can choose between a 3D model or a 2D model. And actually the sprite renderer is a 2D model because it takes a sprite and sprites are 2D, which means, let me show you where the other one is, if I find it. Because here I can't find it. It says Sprite Renderer. So you have to go to, let's see, is there anywhere? That's not important now, but there is another module for mesh rendering too. And if this is not here, you can add this anyhow. Sprite here, mesh renderer, then you have to add this. In this case, they don't have it because it's a sprite renderer. Okay, so we go into sprite renderer. And what they say here, now use our material. So you have probably here another material and like something like that. And you see the thing what I have here disappears, but you have something, anything different, or I have now other shapes. That's also interesting. But sometimes it's hard to find this thing what you want. This list here, when you click here on the drop down, can be really long. So, and that's why I have copied this one to my folder. I go back to my folder, easy way, and I created here. Oh, let me pull up this a little bit higher. And I go here, I go to the, here, I have here materials. I have copied the material here. I just select this one, I switch, and then I press just this back arrow. And you see, sometimes this is very fast, or you really find these names and type all perfect in, then you find it of course as well. That's so we set up the material. Let's go on. That's cool. And then you set up these values for these materials because these are adjustments. You can play this around a little bit. I already did, I hope it. Oh no, I changed the material, so I have to do it again. Sub image size. Okay, where is that? Sub image size, is this, let me see something here that is in sub UV. I have to go to the sub UV. It is set there actually. I have only closed all so we can't see. I think that's okay. You go to the sub UV full part and then set this here and set enabled as well. Sub UV and sub UV blend enabled. Perfect. After that we go down. And you see this render part is already finished. That's very interesting. So with other words, we can close this. We have finished. Okay, we close this here on top. Perhaps it's faster. We have finished this render part. We have set up this new smoke sprite. And now we go to the other things. Okay, then we go here and system overview, emitter update. So it jumps to the update. So it will... now it tries to update the sprites what we included, because at start if you include the sprites they will probably stay here, not like mice which is already updating. And then we have again here modules which we can add. We have actually 2 modules right now. You have probably only one, but let's see what we do. So we jump in, we set this one, and then it says here it kicks out one of these modules because it's not interested, because this burst intent, it's kicks out spawn, burst instantaneous, or what this is. And you can kick one model with this trash can, and you should kick this then out. That's fine. And then it's adding a new model, and it's adding the spawn rate. So I already added this spawn. And how you add this, you click to the top, and then you can add it here, or you can add it here. So both are possible. Important is here that you click here, and then you can click, and then you can add the spawn rate. I already added this one. If you click this one will appear, and then you change here this number to 50 because they changed this and modified it. And the next thing what they did is just change here the life cycle mode and the loop behavior. And this one, the life cycle mode and loop behavior, is when you go here to the emitter state, they say, and here loop behavior to infinite, life cycle mode to self. Okay, perfect. And this one is almost finished too, I think. And then they go to the next part. In this case, they go to the particle spawn group settings. And then let's go there too. We are here, particle spawn. Okay, now we are there. And let's see what they are doing there. They set some attributes here. And they go to the point attributes and set here 2, 3. And why they set this there, it's a little bit to make randomness, or no, yes, lifetime randomness. And then you go here to the point attributes. You see you have here many attributes, like something like so. And then you find this point attributes and then set 2, 3 here. Very easy. And interesting is here, we have here also a color mode. If you want to change the color later, perhaps interesting. But right now, keep the color white because we want white smoke in this case. And then we go to the next part, which is random and spirit size mode. So they want here the sprite, not spirit, the sprite. They want the sprite in random sizes. Yes, you can go there, set the sprite mode to as well. Where is that? It says here Sprite Attributes. And what is that Sprite Attributes? Let's open this one up. We can close this. And you see it's more easier when you just close them all and go one by one. It's more a good overview, I would say. And then you set this, what they have here, random uniform, which is on top, and the numbers here, and then to 75 and 200, very nice. And then you go here, the other thing here as well, which means they set here the sprite random mode, make it more random, so to manipulate it. And they use this direct normalize angels, and then set minimum and maximum to 0.25 and to let's see, they set them, before you can set them, you have to do something. Right, you have to go here. Let me see, that was not there automatically, sorry for that. You have to go here in sprite rotation. Let's see, this is not there for you. You have to go there on this drop down menu here, and then find this random range and float. Sometimes it's very difficult to find this and you don't see it. So it's easier just to write here random, and then it pops most time up. In this case, random range float, for example, this one, it's, you see, this writing is there faster, and then you write it down, and then you write this numbers in. And then we go a little bit more down, and we jump to the next field. What we need, we are in particle spawn. We are still in particle spawn. We are finished with that. We can close this one, and they add here our velocities. They want to change the speed of the sprites, so the sprites go here a little bit faster up or slower up, depends what you want. How you make this? We need a new module. This kind of things what you see here. And these options are modules. In this case, you select again the particle system, you go here and add velocity in this case, and then you have this velocity model, and then you select this velocity model, and then you have change a little bit again this velocity model. And what you are going to do is just change the velocity value here in random range vector, like it says, and then set these values here. Let's see, I did this already here. I clicked here down, random vector and range. Again, if you have problem to find it, just type in random vector and it pops most times up. Random vector, but this one is not random range vector. Was this one it? I think so. Random range vector, yes. And then you choose this and then you type in the values here. I did this already. Nice. And we manipulated some randomness about the vector. Let's go on. Let's go on. We have here. This one is a problem here. Careful. This happens sometimes too. And yes, that's a good reason why we do this demonstration sometimes. The problem is if you want to create this one, you will not find it. And the reason for that is they change a little bit this system because they made it better. They try to improve, and while they improving, they forget sometimes to update the documentation. For example, this one, you will not find the sphere location, or perhaps I made a mistake. I could not find it. So what I do is we go to the particle systems, and we are right now in particle systems. That's okay. And then here they say what you have to do is adding a sphere location, right? But if you do this one, so I go to the particle systems, I go here to the plus, and I can't find it. Okay, I write it. Perhaps I'm blind. Sphere, but I still can't find it. And the problem is they changed the name to shape location. And there is not only this change, they made one more change. Let me add this one more time. I have now 2 shape locations, but whatever. The thing is here, now they improved a little bit the system, and now you have here the option to select what you want. In this case, it's the sphere what you want, right? So sphere location, sphere. In this time we have shape, and then here on top sphere, and then all other things are almost the same. I think you get a sphere radius, then you can set up here sphere radius here, and oh, it's a little bit too much. Okay, this one is the new one, so I delete this one because I have already a shape location. I click to my one, which is shape location, this one. I open this one up again, and you can see here I have already changed the radius, and yeah, this one is all same, the other things, distribution, and then you change this one also to random and keep all the other defaults. But you see sometimes they improve the system, and you have to look if you can find it. In this case, they need to update the documentation here because they have improved this Niagara system. And we continue. And then the last thing what we have here down is, let's see, we have finished this one. We add here something with let's see what we do here. Sub-UV animation. Okay, they say this sprite animations which we have, they can be animated, and to use that one we have to use this sub-UV animation in particle spawn. All right, in particle spawn. Are we in particle spawn? Yes, we are. And then this one looks all time full, but here we can go here on top, and then you write here animation or sub-UV. It's better. Sub-UV should, yes, and then you see it pops again up, and then you choose this. I already chose this here. Yes, I already have this chosen, so I don't do it again. And then I select it here, and then you have this one, and yeah, this one should to work then, and you write again here the mode, the animation mode here in my case. Yeah, this, where is that? I talk too much, need a drink, but let's go on. Let's go to the sub-UV animation mode. Is this there? I'm blind now as well. Let's see. Shape location, of course it's not there because I have not selected it. Yes, that makes sense. So here is this mode, and then we select the linear, and then you set this 0 and 36 because you have here, like they say, 64 images, and it starts from 0, which is the first one, and that's why 63. and they will be animated and so on. The next thing is we are almost finished. There is one more thing, particle update group settings. So we go here back, particle update group now, and we will see what we can do here. So in particle update group, we select only a force acceleration. We add a force to our thing. A force acceleration means this one looks on yours probably very low, and this acceleration will push them up, I think. And how we make this very easy. Again, you select this one. You can select here plus and search it here as well. And it called here what they add here, acceleration. Okay, they add an acceleration. You write here acceleration should be pop up, and acceleration force, you add this. I already have this. I click this, and then you can set up here the force what you need. They set it up to 500, and they say there is an issue normally. That's this solve forces and velocity which comes here should be all time the last one. In my case, this arrow was not coming up because, like I said, they improved the system, and this was not the case in my case. But if this comes up to you, just click this fix issues and so. But I think they changed that one too. That's very good. And yeah, actually with that, you have this one. You should have something like that. And of course, you can already place this in this Niagara system. You go to the system, what you created, and can place it here. But there is one more step what you can make, and that's very interesting. Now, this one is a system, right? But you created here actually a new emitter. Let's say not a new emitter, you change the already existing emitter, which was a burst emitter, to your own smoke emitter or something like that. And you can change here, of course, more and more, but you won't save them, right? That's very important actually. And the last step what you could make is say, okay, I changed this emitter, I like this emitter, I want to reuse this emitter perhaps later anywhere else. You go to the right step here on top and create asset from this, and then this one will be created as a separate emitter. And that's why I have here one more folder for emitter, and this is the emitter which was created from this one. And here one reminder, the difference about system and emitter is I can't right click here, I can just manipulate the emitter itself here. On the system, I can add here many emitters. For example, I can just add this one too, and here more, and I can then let them communicate. Communicate means here, if you do something, this emitter can react and so on. Okay, that's one that. And with that, we are finished already. It should work now for you too. That was this one. And here one more thing what I wanted to show. The color is all time interesting, right? If you have problem, for example, to find in this thing the color, what I did is just simple like all time. I click the emitter, I go here on top and write color. Yeah, and if you do this one, you see the color is anywhere popping up. Of course, you can write colorful. And then here is a color mode anywhere, and here initial particle. And then you can change as well the color which you like and so on. For example, red color for brutal engagement or something like that. Let's go and test this one. Save. Okay, this looks more not red, but whatever. But then you can start. And I test this in multiplayer as well. That's okay. I tested this and it works. And here we have color. Of course, you should make here a nice landscape. Perhaps you're preparing a landscape, and then you can, of course, I put it a little bit down, but what you can do also is just to put around some emitters, not one emitter, and alt, and then here some emitters, and make here so a fight scene where it's smoke coming out from the ground and so on. It's just, yeah, that's later for level design more. So the level designer can use this emitter. So perhaps here, perhaps there is a FX designer, he create emitters, the level designer is using this kind of FX in the level and create later with this kind of FX this landscape, or he's also learning how to change this emitter and adjust them to the level. So I think that's enough. That was all for this. And of course, when you go here to the other ones, they are adding more other informations to the already existing informations. For example, here they are making these balloons with 3D meshes, for example, right here on the bottom. When I scroll down on the bottom, that was not it. There is an example how this looks like, but here they use 3D meshes. And then interesting is also perhaps this one here at the end, audio effects. How when the emitter is played, how audio effects can play as well at the same time. But perhaps you must be careful, there is an audio section for FX as well, and not you have adjust this later if it's useful to make it here or not, and so on. So I think that was enough for this one. We created one. The other one you should do if you want to improve your understanding about this one, and later we use. But in the next video I will start with creating enemies. And yeah, and one last note, of course, this effect what you created, this emitter, you can use of course in your sequence, right? We already did this, but in this case I don't know if this makes sense, but of course let me show you what I mean. I go here to my character again. Actually I go directly to the sequence, and here I know it's still not organized, and here I have my character sequence. You create again here this Viagra effect. You go to track, add notify track. Where was it? Was this one? Yes, at notify track. You don't have to, actually you can go here too, but I make this then track, for example, name it what you need, and then you can add notify, and this time play Niagara particle effect. And then again select this particle effect, go here to the Niagara effect, and you see, oh, that was careful, what I selected was not an effect. This one what you see here is a system. Actually I wanted a particle. Let's see if I can add a particle, a Niagara particle, play particle effect. Let's see if this is possible. This one is the old one, this is not it. Can't I set a particle effect? Let's see. Particle. That's yeah. Okay, that's anyhow strange that I can use only a Niagara system, because I thought I can use just perhaps I make something wrong. Here you can only select anyhow, at least at this point, the system only, but normally you can choose this particle as well. And let me see, let me demonstrate you this as well, what this is. And when I play now, I go here, and now I have anyhow, let me set this one to 1 fast, standalone, click this away, and now it looks a little bit cooler. So now I have this trail smoke effect, which is also interesting. And you see, you can make here many things, and you see this effect, this adding effect makes the game already, I have almost create nothing, really looks already cool, anyhow cooler. The moving is there, and anyhow, yeah, can give so much to the game what we are going to create. But of course, one more last note, but really the last one this time. Careful about effects, they cost performance, so you have to balance between how many effects you want to use and how many effects you can use. That's also a very important question later. So that said, this time I stop and see you in the next. Bye.